Hi everyone, welcome to Club Rats. My name is Jon.
I'm Jesiah.
So tonight's show, we're going to go over Game 7 briefly, go over the draft as well. Game 7 had all the hype of being, maybe being one of the best Game 7s of all time. Unfortunately, you saw early in the game, Halliburton got injured, blew out his Achilles. He was 3 for 4 from 3. I think he was on fire. And then he blows out his Achilles, and that was a very unfortunate.
He scored more in his 5 points than Obi Toppin, Neesmith, and Miles Turner combined.
Yeah.
We kind of got robbed of a possible historic Game 7. Granted, even with him getting hurt, the Pacers still had the lead with Nembhard's buzzer beater 3 to end that first half. But if anybody really watches ball, you kind of know the game was over at that point. And the Thunder just went on a crazy third-quarter run, and they just maintained that lead through the fourth. Shea played great. By all means, he deserved Finals MVP. There was a time you could argue J-Dub could have got Finals MVP, but Shea, with his comeback in the fourth quarter in Game 4, I thought that solidified his Finals MVP stance,
Yeah, I agree.
And really, it does suck, not only as a Pacer fan, to be that fucking close. There's so many players that were fucked up after the game because they were right there. And seeing their best player get hurt like that, you can't ask TJ McConnell to step up the way, they need a Halliburton to. You can't ask McConnell to play 35 minutes when he's used to only playing 15 to 20 minutes. It changes his whole style of play. Lou Dort then gets to guard McConnell and harass him the whole game rather than him just get guarded by the fourth worst defender on the Thunder. It just changed the whole dynamic of the game.
Well, and he was playing well.
Yeah.
When Halliburton's playing well for the Pacers, that's when they can beat anybody. So for him to go down, it's just irreplaceable. The Pacers still battle. I think they were winning at halftime by a point or two.
They were up by 1 with Nembhard's 3.
I mean, they were still competing, but they just didn't. They couldn't maintain. McConnell had a great game. Still, I think he still had close to 20, 15 to 20,
something like that. Yeah.
But he had. You could tell the longer he played, he got exposed.
And his whole role is just to hustle, be a nuisance, and constantly run. Like I said that a few shows ago, his role is just to run the whole time. He does not stop. And him then having to be essentially the starting point guard, he has to slow it down. He has to dictate the offense, and that's not his type of game. Nembhard had a mediocre game, but again, the whole team, their dynamic changed once their star player went down.
Yeah.
And now on the Thunder side, their role players stepped up. Shea obviously had a great game still. J-Dub played well. I mean, they had a historic run for a reason. They had the MVP. They killed all throughout the playoffs. The only time you were weary of them was when they were playing the Nuggets, really. We all had them killing the Pacers. So for the Pacers to even take them to 7, it was a Cinderella story.
100%. No, the Pacers had a run where you could see it. It was good. In that first quarter, the way he was hitting those shots, I'm like, they're gonna win this. They're gonna win this game late, and they're gonna be the champs. And it's gonna be their most improbable run ever. And then he goes down.
That was the most open Halliburton's been the whole series.
Yeah. Very sad to see.
Yeah, I really feel like we got robbed of a historic Game 7. But that doesn't take away from how great these playoffs were, in my opinion. I thought these playoffs were phenomenal.
And it's even, best playoffs in quite some time. I'd say at least 10 years.
Yeah, it's up there in the last 10 years. The only one I could think of is LeBron's 3-1 comeback. But I don't really remember the rest of the series prior to the finals too well. Now, counting the whole playoffs, you could argue this is one of the best first rounds to the finals we've had. It just sucks that it's like when you watch a movie and the whole movie's great and then they fuck up at the ending.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that sucks.
That's a great analogy. I agree.
It was a letdown. And it was actually my birthday, Game 7, and it's like we were all looking forward to having something to talk about at dinner that night, and we're just like, it's kind of a dud.
Yeah. Major dud.
Yeah.
Major letdown. To even throw more salt in the wound, if you're a Pacers fan or you're rooting for the Pacers, they lose Halliburton for the whole next season, and like the previous show, I said they might be able to make the finals again next year.
I think Frost and I both argue that they could be the number one team in the East.
So
now the East really is wide open.
The East is, if you're a Pistons fan, a Knicks fan.
Magic.
The Magic picking up Bane, making that trade, that makes them for sure a contender.
Yep.
And their team, if you watch the series against Boston in the first round this year, Boston won 4-1 or 4-0. I think it was 4-1.
4-1
But the games were competitive. Yeah, I mean, even the last game, you're like, wow.
I think the most the Celtics won by was 14, and it looks like a blowout at that point. But me being a Celtics fan, I watched every game.
Yeah.
It was neck and neck the whole game, and the Celtics, with their experience and their talent, they pulled away at the end.
Exactly.
But the Magic, this could be the next step for them.
Yep.
If Franz gets a semi-consistent jumper, if Paulo keeps making the leaps he's making with Bane spreading the floor and being an off-ball secondary ball handler for them, this team could be dangerous. I still think they're one piece away from really being competitive, like finals, like that.
Yeah.
They're on the market for a big. I think that's the only thing they're really missing. And in the big market, you just need a rim runner that could sometimes stretch the floor. You don't even need anybody that crazy.
Yeah.
Magic are right there. But yeah, if you're a fan of anybody in the East outside Boston, Bucks, and Pacers.
Yeah.
Pacers. If you're outside those three teams, every other team almost has a chance. I mean, you see the Hawks. The Hawks just made.
You see the Knicks too. The Knicks have a chance.
Oh yeah, no, Knicks do have a chance. I said Bucks, Pacers, and Celtics. Those three teams don't have a chance. Like their star players are out.
Well, Giannis isn't.
Well,
but Lillard,
they're screwed. Lillard's making $40 million. There's nothing they could do. That's dead money.
He wasn't even playing well anyway.
No, actually, he had a great year. Last year, he was not so good.
Yeah.
He was still getting accustomed to playing in that system, playing with Giannis. But this year, he was an all-star again. He was on pace to probably make an all-NBA team. You could argue that, but of course, it didn't happen. But Hawks made a few trades. They got Kristaps Porzingis. Granted, he hasn't been that healthy, but when he plays, he is a ceiling raiser. The Hawks are coming back with Jalen Johnson, which, in my opinion, he was most improved up until he got hurt last year. But they did get the most improved player in Dyson Daniels. That team could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Trae Young, granted, he sucks on defense. He's one of the worst. He's a cone. But the way that team is, Quinn Snyder over there is a wizard. I think that team could be dangerous in the East.
Yeah.
And, speaking of that, I mean, it's a pretty good segue. You want to start on the draft?
Yeah. Speaking of Cooper Flag.
Flag.
So the NBA draft was yesterday. Round 2 just finished up here today. We're going to go through each team, just talk about whatever we know about the player, and give a draft grade. So first, I would say, obviously, Cooper Flag went number 1, Dallas Mavericks.
A+. There's no other way they could go. He is the generational talent in this draft. I feel like everybody's already probably talked your ear off about Cooper Flag, but he really is.
He's only 6'7".
Okay. Is that a problem?
Well, I mean, I don't know. He's advertised as he's 6'9", 6'10".
He's the youngest player since LeBron because he graduated a year early. Like, he is, like, freshly 18.
Yeah, no, I agree. No,
he can still grow. Like, Paul George grew 2-3 inches while he was in the NBA.
He's unequivocally the number 1 pick. I'm not talking. I'm just saying I don't think he's a lock.
A lock to be great?
To be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, no. I can't say that yet. But, I mean, we all also had Luka being, like, the best white player of all time. And you see Luka hasn't done much in his NBA career but gets stats. But he hasn't got the MVP that we all thought he has. So, yeah, I'm going to cut that, like, Hall of Fame, best of all time type of talk right now. But I think Cooper Flag's ceiling is being a top 5 NBA player in his prime. I think that's his ceiling.
I don't give it an A+ because I only give it an A+ to, like, the number 1 pick if you're, like, Shaq.
Well, that's in hindsight.
No, but when Shaq was coming out, you knew he was going to be good. Like, it was going to be, is he going to be, like, better than Wilt Chamberlain? Or is he going to be, like, Patrick Ewing?
Which was his floor?
Yeah. like which isn't a disrespect to Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing had a great career,
A Hall of Famer.
but so yeah, you knew he was going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron, I mean, we knew he was going to be good. Now, was he going to be better than Jordan? Do you think he was going to score the most points of all time? I don't know. So
do we think he was going to be the healthiest player of all time and miss how many games in his career? 25 NBA games in his whole career.
Will Chamberlain was like that though.
Yeah,
I'm saying not in terms of
being an Iron Man.
But yeah, Wilt never got hurt. Very rarely did he get hurt.
Yeah, I think there was just 1 year. That's where he had surgery. He only played like 3 games that season.
Yeah.
But anyway, Flag, great pick. I mean, who else were they going to get? I love Dylan Harper, and that's where we could go next. I think the Spurs also got a stud. In my opinion, this was a 2-person draft in the sense of being a top 5, top 10 in their prime type of player in the NBA, and that is Flag and Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper has the chance to be the best player in this draft once it's all said and done. I do think he is the full package at the point guard. I think he has a mixture of being a taller point guard. He's 6'4", 6'5"-ish.
6'5".
But he plays defense. He can shoot. He's athletic. He does everything on the court. Play makes. I think the Spurs got a gem here. Now you could argue they have a log jam at the guard position now with Castle, Fox, and him.
That's what I would say about this. I think he's a good player, but more than a good player. He's a potentially could be an A level type player.
I think he's also a generational talent.
Well, I just don't. I don't like the fit though, because like you just said, you got Fox,
Castle.
I mean, they're all kind of the same.
Castle is the bigger player. He's about 6'6".
Yeah.
He plays bigger. He weighs 230. So I think
like where would be a better fit for him? Because I do think it would be a better fit. Like he might not be bad in Philly.
No, they got Maxey.
No, but him and Maxey, that's your backcourt.
I wouldn't like that.
You wouldn't like it?
Nah. I think I like where the Sixers got their shooting guard, and we could get to that in a second. So let's stay on the Spurs. I think Harper went to an A-class organization. I think him, Wemby, Castle, I think they're going to gel well together. I think they're going to grow together. And in 3 years, they could be the Thunder of now, where all this young talent grows together, builds chemistry together, and they could win a championship in 3 years. I think that's their ceiling. I think the Spurs could win a championship in 3 years.
I got to see them play together first before I can make that assessment. And also, this isn't had anything to do with Harper. Wemby has to come back. You know.
I mean, he's training with the monks. He's ready, bro. He's ready. He shaved his head. He followed. He kind of looks like Anthony Edwards. Is he also a son of MJ?
That's Cedric Coward.
Yeah, I know. He looks like Anthony Edwards. Is he also a son of MJ?
Could be. One of the missing sons out there.
Hey, Cedric Coward, who Froz was very high on, and he went from being a nobody to then transferring and making a name for himself from D3. He went to D1. He was not projected to get drafted, then second round, and maybe late first. Now he got drafted in the lotto. I think the Grizzlies got a steal there. We'll get to that in a second, but he is going to be a stud because he's a hard worker.
So what's your final grade on Harper? A+?
A+. I think the Spurs have the best draft.
I give it a B+.
I'm big on Harper, though. I like him.
See, I watched Rutgers a lot this year. He was hurt for quite a few of the games, but I was not. I don't know if it's their players' fault or
no, it's the coach. In college, it's the coach.
Bailey doesn't look the easiest guy to coach, though, either.
And we'll get to Bailey in a second.
So he had to coach both those guys, but they didn't even make the tournament. They weren't even close.
Yeah, they were bad.
They were like a bad team.
But I think that's on the coach. In college, you blame the coach. You don't blame the kid.
Okay, I'll give him B+. So next pick, I like this guy better than Harper.
I like him too, but I don't like him better than Harper.
I have him as an A. VJ Edge come from Baylor, drafted by the Sixers, so they're trying to pair somebody with Maxey. This is their backcourt.
This is great. He's a scorer. He's athletic as hell.
He's
Most
long.
important thing about him is he's a hard worker.
He's only 6'4", but he is long.
He came from nothing. Like he had a story from the draft where
started from the bottom. Now he's here.
Straight up, no, but he didn't have electricity the first decade of his life. Him and his parents were living off of a generator to have electricity in the house.
What's wrong with that?
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He had nothing. So for him to grow up that way, I think he's a good kid. I see that in him.
But being a good kid, I mean, not to be
No,
mean,
I think he's a hard worker.
No, I don't care. Can he win basketball games in the NBA?
If you're a hard worker, you'll continue to grow and improve your game. And I think that's where it matters.
You think he'll be a good fit with Embiid in that team? Who's coaching him?
Nurse. Nick Nurse is their coach.
You better stitch him up. Get him ready to go.
My biggest question mark with the Sixers is Joel Embiid. That's the biggest question mark. I think.
Well, yeah, he's like a dinosaur.
I shouldn't even say
basketball.
just him. I mean, Paul George is a big question mark. He's getting paid $35 million a year to play 20 games and be a broadcaster.
I don't even count him though.
He's
still
on the contract for 4 years. He just signed.
God, the Sixers are spending some money.
They had money last season because remember your Pistons got Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
That $35 million Tobias Harris was getting paid freed up. They signed Paul George.
Amazing.
So they have some question marks with their quote unquote star players, but Maxi's an Iron Man. He plays damn near every game. I like VJ. I give this like an A-.
I gave it an A.
I think this was the best talent at the number 3 position. I'm glad they didn't get who is coming up at 5. But at 4, it's your boy Concanoople to the Hornets.
I'm not a big fan.
You don't like Concanoople?
I don't hate him, but I'm not. I don't know. He's an awkward player, but
So I actually think he's going to fit in well with the Hornets because they need somebody that
punchable
doesn't
face.
need the ball to be productive. I mean, we saw how well he played with Cooper Flagg being the star player. He plays off ball. He cuts. He's kind of a dirty work player for as great of a catch
going
and
to the
shoot
Hornets is brutal. That's a bad.
I'd rather them get Concanoople than Ace Bailey. I'd rather them get Concanoople than Trey Johnson. So the other players that were up there.
Yeah.
Now, a question mark. Could the Hornets have got center, Common Malawach?
Common sense? Malak. I don't know how to say it.
I think it's
Malauch?
I think it's Malawach.
Malawach.
So you could argue that the
7'1",
Hornets could have got him. He has what, like a 8'1" wingspan?
What?
Anyway, the Hornets at 4 could have drafted Malawach
Yeah.
because they need a big. They traded Mark Williams to the Suns. But I think they needed some established player. I think Concanoople, even though he's young, he has good head on his shoulders. I think he just plays the right way. And Charles Lee, which is their coach over there, he's trying to create an identity there. I know right now it's kind
bleak.
of what?
It's bleak in Charlotte.
It's very bleak. They're down bad. But he's not far from home. I think I think it's a great pick. They might have stretched a little bit. He probably could have been there at like 7.
That's what I thought too.
But Knoopel, I give that a B+. What about you, John?
B-.
Yeah,
he's not.
Well, yeah, you're not crazy about him, but his draft combine numbers were insane. He had a higher vertical leap than like Ace Bailey. He had faster sprints than I think Trey Johnson. Anyway, he's a better athlete than what we saw on the court. So at 5 is the Jazz, and they draft Ace Bailey. He's a young kid, so I'm trying to cut him some slack. But every time he talks, he acts like a kid. I think he has maturity issues. He's a bad shot taker, but he is a bad shot maker, and that is needed in the NBA. You need somebody to make shots, and that is what he is. Now, if he can mature, I could see him being a good player, but that's a big question mark for me. I'm not big on Ace Bailey. What about you, John?
I actually like him as a player. I saw him. The game I saw him, I think it was his best game. It was against Northwestern.
Yeah, 29.
Yeah, he was making everything, like fadeaways, dunks. I was like, this guy looks like kind of like T-Mac, for a moment.
That's what I've heard from some players that played with him. I think Dylan Harper actually said he plays like a young T-Mac. I don't know.
That's a hell of a comparison. I will say this. This is one thing I didn't like about this draft. A couple of these guys, they get drafted, and they're like so mad. They're mouthing like fuck. I'm like, dude, you just got drafted in the NBA. You got to.
You're talking about Colin Murray Boyles. He got drafted by the Raptors. He stood up, shook his head, and said, "Fuck."
Yeah, that's just I don't understand that.
Now that could have been taken out of context. He could have been like, "Damn, I'm really getting drafted." I don't think he was mad. He went to the Raptors because prior to the draft, he had a workout with the Raptors. It is fake news.
It's fake news. Okay.
Prior to the draft, he had a workout there, and they interviewed him like, "How did it go?" Blah blah blah. He was like, "This is a Class A organization. I would love to play here." So I don't think speaking of Colin Murray boys, but he is also somebody I'm not too big about, but we'll get to pick 9 in a minute. But back to Ace Bailey. Now, if all works out in Utah, they got a stud. Utah rides for their players. Now, as soon as Ace Bailey gets traded or if he signs somewhere else, the Utah fans are arguably the worst in the NBA.
Once Ainge gets a hold of him, too, and talks to him, they'll be fine. He'll get him to play.
Oh, yeah, he'll play.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know which team it was, but it was rumored that, well, it's not rumored, it's a fact. He told between the third team, so the Sixers to the Jazz, one of those 3 teams, so Jazz, Hornets, or Sixers, that if they drafted him, he would not show up to camp. So he was kind of pulling was that Stephon Marbury or, no, Steve Francis to the Grizzlies back in 99, right? Was that when it was? And he refused to...
I think so.
He refused to show up for training camp. He refused to play for the Grizzlies back then. It was something like that. But yeah, like you said, Ainge has a way of talking to these guys to make them believe and trust. But the Jazz need all the help they can get right now. They need somebody to build with because right now that team...
He's going to get shots.
That team is full of nobodies. Yeah. They have decent talent over there, but none of them have a ceiling, like a good ceiling. Ace Bailey has a huge ceiling.
Oh no, it's a great. It's actually for him. It's actually a great land. If he looks at it from a positive, he's going to get to go somewhere where they're going to let him develop and they're going to give him shots. He's going to get in-game looks. Like who's the coach? I don't know who coach is.
Will Hardy, at which he used to be a Celtics assistant. He just got extended. Will Hardy signed till 2031.
Like he could become like it sounds crazy to say, but could he be like not play like Karl Malone, but like a fan favorite of the Jazz? You never know. If you're that good.
Exactly. It's an upside pick. But I heard he wanted to go to the Nets or the Wizards for whatever reason. But 6th pick now. Oh, side note. What's your grade?
I give it an A.
A. I'm going to go B-. Okay. Just because I'm not crazy about him.
The next guy up here is Trey Johnson, number 6 pick to the Washington Wizards. Texas guard. Averaged 20 points a game, shot
great shooter,
40% from 3. I think he'll be a big time scorer in the NBA. I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a starter in the NBA. I think he could be like a spark plug, microwave off the bench. The Wizards, they just need development and players to grow with. They just traded for CJ McCollum.
Yeah.
So they got some like ancient players over there. They got Mark Smart, they got Chris Middleton, they got like I said, CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk. Yeah. So they're trying to build a culture there with the older guys to teach these young guys how to play. First move, they got rid of Jordan Poole, which I think that's what the Wizards need to do.
I agree.
But they don't really have a point guard. They have no way to really get people in the spots, to set up the offense. They got Koulibaly, which I'm big on. I think he's a stud. But yeah, Trey Johnson, I give this pick like a B+, A-, high upside. A question mark for me too, though. Why did he show up in shorts? I hate the players that show up with shorts when they're wearing a suit. I'm not into that fashion. It seems like every player that wears shorts to the NBA draft, they become a bust. So that's why I'm questioning it a little bit. But upside, good shooter. We'll see what he becomes with the Wizards. 7th pick, John?
Jeremiah Fears
to the Pelicans.
From Oklahoma, guard. I watched him play
great scorer
against Michigan in a pre-conference tournament type matchup, Oklahoma versus Michigan, and he I believe he hit the game winner and was fouled and made the free throw to win by 1.
Yep.
So that was a sick play. But I will say, watching him, he's not an elite level athlete type player. He's not above the rim player really.
Yeah, shooter.
He's a shooter.
Scorer.
He's kind of like Trae Young light to me. He's
Oklahoma.
From Oklahoma. Yeah. He's that type of player. Can he be effective at times? Absolutely. Is he a franchise player? No, but the right situation, I don't think he's a bad player. I think he could be okay.
The problem with that, I don't think it is the right situation. He's going to the Pelicans.
Yeah, not great.
And question mark over there with fit. So I just said the previous pick. The Pelicans just traded CJ McCollum for Jordan Poole, which he plays a scoring guard type of position. That's what
Jeremiah Fears is. And John, you might have forgot, they also got DeJounte Murray. They
Yeah.
got 3 guards now.
Yeah.
So pick kind of question mark. And we'll get to why I believe the Pelicans are the biggest losers of this draft in a few picks. But with this pick, I don't mind Jeremiah Fears. I think he'll be a decent player, scorer, microwave player as well. I give this a B, a solid B. The Pelicans, I just don't know what they're doing over there, man.
No, they're not to be mean, but they're one of the franchises in the NBA where it's like, can we just move them to Vegas already and just call it a day?
Yeah. New Orleans is cursed.
We'll just change the name from the Pelicans to the Flamingos. We have a casino here called Hotel Flamingo.
Yeah.
NBA
Call them the
Flamingos.
Flamingos. They have pink jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, come on, how sick you wouldn't wear.
Hey, the Miami Vice jerseys sold.
We could do something like that.
Yeah,
it sounds like kooky, but it actually
like a
might
pink
work.
and a cream.
Yeah,
and some black for the beak.
Yeah, they could totally do it. Pull that off.
What's the next pick at 8?
What do you give the Fears pick?
B.
I gave it like a B, I guess. Maybe a B minus.
I like Fears. I just don't like the Pelicans picking him.
Igor Demon,
Oh,
BYU guard.
yeah. He's from Russia.
6'8", 200, and he's a guard. Wow.
Yeah, so he plays point guard. Looking at the numbers, 6'8" point guard looks great, right?
He's magic.
But John, did you see him at all at BYU? Have you seen how
I watched BYU, but I wasn't like.
So
I watched him a little bit,
he
but I
can't
wasn't.
shoot, and he's
Yeah.
not fast. Who picked him at 8? Nets.
Brooklyn Nets.
Nets also one of the biggest losers of this draft. This pick is a dud. I don't think he lasts more than 4 years in the NBA. I could be totally wrong. 6'8" guard. We see another 6'7" guard that's slow, but Luka can shoot. This guy, Igor, he can't shoot and he's slow. He's a great passer, but I don't think in today's NBA...
He's a...
You know the Nets drafted 3 point guards, right?
Yeah. Well, no. They drafted
3.
Well, they drafted Wolf, though, too.
Well, they had 5 picks in the first round. They drafted 3 guards and then 2 power forwards.
Jesus.
But we'll get to the later picks in a minute. But Igor, in this position at 8, there's other people. It's like they needed another center. They also could have got Comment Malawach. They could have got Colin Murray Boyles, which I'm not big on, but like he's better than Igor. This pick I give a D minus.
It feels like a reach.
Big reach. D minus for me.
I give it like a C minus.
I mean, yeah. If that's pushing it.
I do like I like that. Can he really handle the ball well?
No, he dribbles like he kind of dribbles like Wolf. Honestly, he's not a shifty guy. He's slow.
The Wolf's like a center power forward type.
Exactly. He dribbles like a big.
Can he shoot like Wolf though?
No, he can't shoot. That's what I'm saying. He can't shoot and he's not fast.
Wolf can like get to the basket.
He's just a
nifty.
good passer. It's a bad pick, very bad pick.
Yeah.
But at 9, the Raptors got Colin Murray Boyles, great defender. I heard his ceiling is like a Draymond Green-esque player.
6'7", 240 from South Carolina.
South Carolina. He's a dog. He has that killer mentality. The problem with this pick at the Raptors, they just have a surplus of wings.
Can never have too many wings.
It's like
chicken wings.
It's like Masai's waiting to buy high for another, like a Kawhi-esque type of player.
Yeah.
That gets on the market. They have so many people. Him and Scotty Barnes are damn near the same player. Size-wise.
I'd rather have Boyles though than Demon.
Oh, I would too.
Yeah.
But at this pick as well,
because I think he's a pro. Like he may not be an all-star, but he's going to play in the NBA for 10 years.
Yeah. Because the defense,
and he might average 15.
He could guard the 1 through 5 in the NBA.
No, I like him.
Now his offense needs a lot of work. He can't shoot. He shot, I believe, 73% in the paint, which is good, really good. 73% in the paint, but he shot, I believe, it was 23% outside the paint.
That's not good.
I could be wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure I heard it was 23% when I last checked. But at this pick 9, it's a reach already.
I think it's a good
If you
pick.
try getting anybody else, I give this a B+.
I agree with you. I give it a B+.
It's just
I can't give
with
it
the
an A
Raptors.
because
It's so many. They have so many wings. So they just signed Brandon Ingram, right? Like they traded the Pelicans. They got Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
They signed him to a 4-year contract. They got Scotty Barnes. They
Not a
got
big Brandon
R.J.
Ingram guy,
Barrett. They have a surplus of wings. So that's the biggest question mark is the fit. But the player, he's talented defensively. 10th pick,
This is your guy, Kamen Maliak.
Kamen Malawach to
Malawach.
the Suns. Right?
Yeah. No, Rockets.
No, Suns got the pick. It's
You're right.
trade.
Traded to Phoenix. You're right. Yep. You are correct.
Suns needed a center. They've been looking for a center for years. They thought they had a center with DeAndre Ayton. As we saw, Ayton wasn't the guy. Kamen Malawach, legit big, rim protector, lob threat. He is the type of player that his ceiling is defensive player of the year. I don't know if you ever get it over Wemby, but he has that ceiling. The big question mark is, why would the Suns draft Malawach at 10 and then trade for Mark Williams?
They're trying to go big.
You know, they also got the other Hornets big last season, Nick Richards. They have 3 bigs that they're all question marks.
The Lakers could take one of them.
They tried getting one. They tried to get in Mark Williams.
Would they take Malawach?
The Lakers?
Yeah.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Heartbeat. He could be the real deal.
Yeah.
Like, in 10 years, we could say he was stealing this draft.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I'm not crazy
I agree
about.
with you, though.
I'm not crazy about bigs that
He's
can't stretch
insanely
the floor.
athletic, though.
Insane. Does it say his wingspan on the
It
page?
says he's 7'1", but he looks long
7'1".
as hell.
I believe he has an
Super long.
8'3" wingspan. It's between 7'8" and 8'1" in wingspan, I think.
Yeah, he's 250 as well, so he's not even light either.
Yeah, he's young too.
There's your boy Proctor.
Ain't my boy.
I know, I'm just joking.
Oh.
Okay. Next pick, so at 11.
Grade. I give the
I give
Suns
B+.
drafting him this A-. Just a big question mark. Why the fuck would you draft him then trade for Mark Williams? I just don't like that. But player-wise for the Suns, him and
They both went to Duke, too. They both
went
play
to Duke,
exactly
and
the
they're
same.
both 7'1".
Yeah.
But
Williams is tough when he's right.
yeah, health is a big question mark though. But I think it's hard to develop a young center when you have another young center trying to get minutes and playing time as well. So, fit question mark with them getting that trade. But at 11 is Cedric Howard to the Grizzlies. I think this could be the steal of the draft. This was Frost's guy who he was high on.
Yeah, I remember.
I said
Frozzy.
Frosty
Couldn't be in today. He was feeling under the weather.
Yeah, Frost was sick, and Fernando and Billy are watching a movie together.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Billy might cut a hole in the popcorn.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I like about Coward, he's a dog. He has a winning mentality, and he has a hard work ethic. He works his ass off.
Yeah.
So I think the Grizzlies struck gold with this pick.
I agree with you. I couldn't give him an A, but I was considering it for sure.
I'll give it an A because I do think he could be the steal. He has a very high upside, and his work ethic is second to none in this draft. The question mark, though, could be
Do you want
his
to play
health.
him with Morant or no?
I think Morant's done. I think Morant's getting traded.
Yeah.
I think they're going young. That's my assessment with that. So A minus, B plus.
Next pick here, the Bulls, Stealth's team, Noah Sunjay.
Asingay. Great pick. Stealth, if you're watching.
He's from France.
France is doing something right over there. Damn near every player that they're developing that makes it to the league,
The Coneheads
they
were
become
from France.
something. What's up?
The Coneheads were from France.
Who's the Conehead?
The Coneheads, the movie Coneheads.
Oh, it was. I'm like,
They're
who's the
when
Conehead?
the
Yeah, I
detectives
remember
were
that
coming
movie.
after them,
Yeah.
they're like, what's your identity? And just say, we're from France, we're foreigners. That's what they said. And they have these giant cones on their heads.
But anyway, with this pick, high upside. He's 7'1", right?
Yeah.
7'1", athletic big. Now
6'10".
6'10". It is without shoes. So when he has shoes on, you can add the few inches, right? But I give this pick. I'm glad the Bulls did not get Derek Queen. I think Queen could be the dud of this draft as well.
Ooh, I'm total opposite. of you on
And
that
Queen was projected to go to the Bulls, and the Bulls dodged the bullet because the Queen is the Bulls type of player.
Yeah.
The Bulls like to lose in drafts. They
do.
got one in this. Granted, he could be nothing because he's young, he's very raw.
one. Yeah.
But if they
He's a project, right?
he is a
Asingay?
project. Asingay. Noah Asingay. He could be something. I give this pick for what they could have got. I give this B plus. What about you, John? You probably don't know much about him, right?
I don't know much about the French Pierre
he's
type
just
players,
yeah.
I don't know.
He's just a young guy. He's a project.
It seems like a boomer bust pick to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab a water. You want something?
Nope.
All right, so at pick 13, this is where Derek Queen got drafted. He got drafted to the Hawks, but he got traded to the Pelicans. And guess what? The Pelicans gave up their unprotected first-round pick of the 2026 draft. It's unprotected. The Pelicans could be the worst team in the NBA next season. I don't know what Joe Dumars and the Pelicans believe they got over there, but they're not a top 12 team in the West. They're going to be awful. And they gave up an unprotected 2026 pick. Now, I did just say Derek Queen could be a bust of this draft, but he also has the upside because his offense is so elite. But he is a traffic cone. He is big. He is slow. Now, offensively, he has a nice touch around the rim. He can shoot a little bit. I mean, we saw him hit a game winner in March Madness.
Yeah.
He has that. But him being such a defensive liability, along with Zion over there, they just drafted a center last season, Yves Messi, and he was second or first team all-rookie. Like, they got a center, so it's weird that they go with a center here when it seems like they needed a defensive big. And I think they could either trade it back to get somebody else, like maybe a Thomas Sorber.
You know the Queen has talent?
No, he has talent offensively. It's almost like
Who's his comparison?
I don't know who his comparison is.
What would you say he's like? From how you watch him play? He's a weird player.
He has a better outside touch than this, but he reminds me a little bit of Solinger. Him being big, kind of brawly, but he can't play defense. He's a mediocre rebounder. Yeah. He wants to score. Now,
Not
again, he is a better outside shooter, but mid-range wise, he's similar to Solinger. Yeah. And I saw Solinger on the Celtics. I ended up liking him, but in college, I thought he sucked in Ohio State. I thought he was dog shit.
He didn't suck. He was good.
The problem with what the Pelicans... Well, yeah, he was drafted high, but I didn't think he was an NBA type of player. And we saw he lasted 5 seasons. Yeah. The problem with this pick, the Pelicans traded up just 10 spots to get Derek Queen, and they gave up an unprotected 2026 pick. And because of this, they're my losers of this draft. The biggest losers, the 1A losers. I have the Nets at number 2 behind that. So I give this pick, not because it's Derek Queen, but because they gave up their 2026 pick, I give this a D.
I like Queen. I don't know. I was a Queen guy.
So you'd give up, if you're a bad team, you give up an unprotected pick for next season. Not 4 years down the road, next season, 2026. So you're the GM of the Pelicans. You see the team. You have Jeremiah Fears, Jordan Poole,
Zion.
It's
like a circus down there.
DeJounte Murray. Now, granted, they got great wings.
God.
They have Trey Murphy.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. It's a bad...
Trey Murphy's a stud. I like Herb Jones.
It's a bad...
But is that team a top 12 team in the West? Hell no. That team's going to be bottom 5 in the league. And they gave a unprotected pick to get... The Hawks are the winners. Like, they're top 3 in this draft, in my opinion, because of what they got.
Yeah. I agree. I give it maybe a...
Because of what they had to give up, it's a bad grade.
Yeah.
If Derek Queen could be something, I don't think he will, personally.
I give it like a C.
Yeah, because the player.
Yeah. He could bail you out. If he's good, nothing else matters.
So that was 13, right?
Yeah, 14.
14 is who I liked. Carter Bryant, the Spurs.
That's your guy.
They're a great... they're in a great position. They got Dylan Harper at number 2. They got Carter Bryant, which they needed a wing. He is 6'8", so their projected line, they want to go young, which they probably won't. Bryant's probably going to come off the bench because he's really young. He's raw, too. But he is a 3-and-D player. He's athletic as all hell, too. So he's 6'8". What does he weigh? Maybe 200? Does it say on there?
215.
215?
Yeah.
Now, the lineup would be, if they want to go young, it'll be Fox, Harper, Castle, Bryant, and Wemby. Very young team. I expect Bryant to come off the bench and Harrison Barnes is going to start, or Sochan. But Bryant is a stud. 3-and-D, he's going to fit in where he fits in. I give this pick, especially at 14, a A+. This is a great pick.
A+.
No, I love it.
Why did he fall so far?
Kind of a project. But we said last show, Arizona hides guys. So he was projected to go as high as number 10. And
Arizona's now how Kentucky used to be with Calipari. Where Calipari had SGA, and he didn't even what did he do with them at Kentucky?
yeah,
I'm not saying they were bad. But
well, Kentucky's always had guys, always. Devin Booker came off the bench in Kentucky, and that's actually what happened with Carter Bryant. He came off the bench in Arizona.
So there you go.
So that is the lottery. We could just highlight a few picks. We don't have to go through every pick between 15 and 30. But what are some players you want to highlight?
Walter Clayton Jr. went 18 to the Wizards. I just was interested to see.
He actually got traded to the Jazz.
So he's traded to the Jazz. So he's playing with Ace Bailey now.
Ace Bailey.
that's kind of fun.
I did not expect Clayton to get drafted this high. I thought he was going to be a late first, early second round pick. But clearly he must have worked out well with these teams. He seems like he has good head on his shoulders. He seems mature for his age. He does already have a kid. Him and his girl seem pretty serious, but that matters. Like, these teams look at that, They see the maturity level, and I think that's why he went up this high. You said at 18, right?
Yeah.
For that pick, for the Jazz to trade and get that guy, like I said, they just have a bunch of nothing over there. They need something to develop, and I think Clayton Jr. can have an upside, but most importantly, he is NBA ready now. I mean, what did he play? 3-4 years of college, right?
Yeah.
Like, he is NBA ready.
No, 5, I think.
Oh, you played 5?
I think he redshirted a year.
Yeah.
He was in there for a bit.
You're probably right. So, yeah, that was a good pick. Jazz might have got one with that, especially. It's a good gamble, I should say. It's a good gamble.
Jace Howard going to the Magic at 25.
Jace
Richardson, sorry.
Jace Richardson. I'm not crazy about him. He did drop in the draft. He was projected lottery, so his measurements probably did scare some teams away. He's a smaller guard.
He's barely 6'1".
Yeah.
Like, he's our
It's
size.
like the Magic got rid of one NBA player's son for another. They got rid of Cole Anthony. They got Jace Richardson.
Yeah.
His younger brother is the guy that I think could be some of the NBA. I don't know if Jace is going to amount to anything. If he could develop to be feisty on defense and just that annoying guard off the bench, but that's all he is. At 25, you're not really projected to do much anyway. The Magic probably could have got something better at that pick. I'm personally not crazy about it. I'll give that a C-.
Yeah. I think I want to highlight Danny Wolf at 27. I don't know how he's going to do in the NBA. I'm very interested to see how he transitions to the NBA, because he has
a unique style. I'll give him that. He's a
6'11",
ball handling.
252.
He's a ball handling big, but the problem with that is you almost have to mold the team around that. You need a rim running center to complement his outside shooting.
He's like a very, very bad version of Jokic. Kind of how he played. You're right.
It's tough.
The team, when it's going right, it's amazing. But like when he's off, it gets ugly.
But why would an NBA team mold their team around the number 27th pick?
The NBA did it with the Nuggets. They did it with like the 44th pick. Jokic was the 44th pick.
But he grew with the team.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
he had to work up to that level.
When you're drafting that late too, you're just taking shots.
If Wolf could somehow learn how to move his feet on the perimeter, I think he could last in the NBA 8 years.
He can move.
Offensively, not defensively. I don't think he could hang because he has to play power forward. If he's at center, I don't think he'll last in the NBA.
I agree with you.
He has to develop as a stretch big / forward.
Wolf can rebound.
I don't know how well he'll rebound in the NBA level.
He did average 10 a game though last year. But I agree with you. I just don't know if his game. The easiest way to say it with him is his game reproducible for the NBA?
Yeah,
I don't know about.
It's a big question mark.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think if he was going to a different it's kind of unfortunate he's going to Brooklyn because they're a bad team.
I think it's better if he goes to a bad team.
Yeah.
Like
you would want him in Boston though.
Actually, I like who Boston got. Granted, I know it was the pick after this Nets pick
but if
at
you took
28.
Wolf, would you be like, pissed?
Oh no, I'm not against the Wolf pick because I liked him at Michigan. He was fun to watch too.
Yeah.
But yeah, who the Celtics got the next pick. So the Nets did kind of cuck the Celtics because Wolf was on the radar,
but who the Celtics got at 28, Hugo Gonzalez. 3 years ago, Hugo was a projected top 10 pick, and I think they might have got a steal there. Granted, if you look at his averages, they're not eye-popping. He averaged like 3 points a game in Spain, but he's been playing pro since his teenage years. He's almost like a Josh Hart, where he is a do-it-all type of player. He brings the ball up, he gets players involved, he can shoot, he plays defense, and he has a dog mentality. For them to find that type of player this late in the draft, I do think this could be a steal. But you could also amount to nothing. It's the end of the first round type of pick, but I think he has a high upside.
All these out of lottery picks,
it's a dime a dozen. It's a dime a dozen.
You can't really be critical of any of these picks.
For every 10 picks you have in like the 20s, one of the 10 will like boom.
Yeah. And these two players both fit that Wolf and Gonzalez. Like, it wouldn't shock me if they're in the right situation where they could be a real major impact player on a team too. So I could see him being bust. Well, I'm talking Wolf specifically. I could see him being bust. But it wouldn't shock me if he didn't turn out to be too bad either.
Yeah, he can't shoot. That's that. If he keeps developing,
he was streaky at Michigan. That was the thing that was scary about him. When he was on, he was unbelievable.
But if he could keep developing that, he could last in the NBA a decade just because he's a good shooter.
The best thing he did at Michigan, honestly, was probably like his passing, which is kind of weird to say. But he would, when he would take care of the ball and run full court down. He was tough at times,
Now that's where my question mark is. His ball handling.
How are the Nets going to use it? Like that matters.
He's going to be playing
Who's
power
coaching
forward.
the Nets?
The Nets had 5 first-round picks, and they drafted 3 guards and 2 power forwards.
Because the guy they took before Wolf was Ben Saraf.
Ben Saraf from Israel. 3-4 years ago, he was also a projected lottery type of player. He's a bigger guard, likes to pass, but just question marks in the sense of, does he really care about basketball? Is he going to play defense? He's that type of like foreign player that just wants to play offense. I just don't know what they're going to do, but he is 6'6". If he could transition to developing a shot and playing off the ball, that's one thing, but he's a big question mark. I just don't know why they drafted 3 guards and then 2 power forwards, because they also drafted Drake Powell at 23, I believe. And I don't know much about Drake Powell. What about you, John?
About Drake Powell, he just played at North Carolina. He's not bad, but
for them to have 5 first-round picks, you could argue all 5 of the picks are duds.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad that they...
all their picks, I probably like Wolf the best. He was their last one.
He was their last one.
I probably like him the best of all those. If you're going to take a shot on him.
Yeah, so the Nets, for them to have 5 first-round picks, and you could argue all 5 of them aren't much, that's why they're my number 2 biggest loser of the draft. Again, I have the Pelicans 1, Nets 2. Suns got Liam McNeely at the 29 pick. Shooter. He had a down year shooting-wise, but he has great shot mechanics. I do think he could develop into a 40, like around a 40% clip shooter. He's 6'7". He's a guard too, so he goes well with all the other guards the Suns have out there. But I think they drafted him. Oh, sorry, the Suns did not draft him. The Suns traded that pick to Charlotte. So Liam McNeely is going to Charlotte. Good. They got another shooter. 6'7", you could play the small forward position. They could go small and have Brandon Miller at the 4. Brandon Miller's 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah.
The Hornets just need all the help they could get as well.
They just need anyone that can play basketball right now.
I like that pick. Especially at 29. Liam McNeely was pretty fucking good at UConn.
Yeah. Any second-round picks of note?
It was pretty much the first pick of the second round. Rasheer Fleming, the Suns, speaking of them, the Suns traded with the Wolves to get that 31st pick. And Rasheer Fleming, dog, he could shoot. He's big too, 6'8", 232. He could be the steal of the second round. Because, there's always one guy in the second round that pops.
Oh, yeah.
And Rasheer Fleming, I wanted the Celtics to get him. Because Celtics had the next pick, which at pick number 32, they traded that pick to the Magic, and they got another French player, Noah Penda. I don't know too much about Penda, but like I said earlier, these French players, they develop and they come here as almost a full package. You could usually shoot. They're bigs that can handle the ball, and he's a big.
What is France
big,
doing with
powerful.
these basketball players? They're like taking over the world.
Tony Parker has developed a whole system over there. It's really Tony Parker.
That's amazing.
The next pick at 33, Jon James out of Duke, and obviously we saw him in the Final Four.
Did you ever see Tony Parker play?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He had the best floater of all time.
Yeah.
You could argue, obviously Duncan was the one option, but Parker, many years he was an all-star, all-NBA
Hit
player.
big shots.
What?
He hit a lot of big shots.
Yeah.
He was so tough going to the basket. He's like unguardable.
Yeah. But yeah, Hornets, Jon James, wing. Before he went to Duke, he was actually more of a scorer. Once he got to Duke, he became more of a kind of an occasional ball handler and defender. Again, Hornets just need all the help they could get. Any of these players that could pop, they need that.
Yeah.
Somebody I'm shocked that got drafted, but not only drafted, but drafted at 35th. The Sixers got Broom from Auburn.
Yeah.
I don't like that pick. John, you were on the other side. You like the pick by the Sixers.
I like Broom, but I put him in the Wolf category. Is his game? Is it even NBA capable? I don't know. I mean,
He's 6'9", 249, and he had, what, a 20-inch vert?
Yeah.
He couldn't even reach the markers.
he has game. He can shoot a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know. The more I think about him, I don't know if I like him as a pick. I mean,
but it is a second round pick.
He did produce a lot at Auburn.
Yeah.
His production was off the charts. Was he Player of the Year?
I think so.
So, I mean, he's Player of the Year. I mean, that's something, I guess, but...
Phoenix got another guard at pick 41, but one of the best shooters, if not the best shooter in this draft. They got Kobe Brea. And Brea, we saw he could shoot the hell out the ball.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know why Phoenix wants to just stack all the shooting guards in the league, but that's what they're doing. He probably won't develop much over there.
Was Clark and Plum like talking shit to each other while she was on the bench?
I'm not surprised. Plum talks shit, and we've seen Clark get into every...
These WNBA girls go at it, man.
Girls already like the drama with the WNBA on top of that.
Look at Plum, though. She was killing.
These players are on it. Outside of that, everyone else is kind of a nobody in the second round. Like, I can't pronounce his last name, but the Wolves got a center from Australia. His first name's Rocco. His last name starts with a Z. I can't pronounce it. But I heard about him that...
He's a Mad Max character. Like,
look at his last name. He's 7'3", 260. 7'3", 260. He doesn't even have a picture. But you see that last name? It's kind of wild. Like, Zerkarski? I think that's how you pronounce it. But anyway, I heard about him. He was projected to go late first round, so he did fall to them. But yeah, second round, kind of all over the place. Every second round pick gets traded anyway. All these guys kind of have an open contract. But for me, biggest winners of the draft, Spurs, Hawks. I think they both had the best drafts. And then losers, Pelicans, and Nets. What about you, John?
We didn't hit on the biggest shock of the draft, or the biggest mover was Yang Hansen.
Oh.
Henson, the Chinese kid he got picked by Portland. I think it was 16 or 18. He was projected like a mid-30s, low 40s.
Yang Hansen. Yeah, he was projected to go very late.
Like second round pick probably, and he shot all the way up to top 20 pick. He was literally sitting in the stands, thinking he might get drafted, but maybe not. And he walked out.
His overall rank was to go 35th.
So yeah, he went up like 20 spots higher than.
He has a 9'3" standing reach. He can almost grab rim just from standing on his feet. I actually was watching some highlights on Twitter, and speaking of baby Jokic like a wolf, this guy plays like Jokic, like post, passing. He could shoot a little bit, but again, why would you form your whole offensive around a defensive liability post-scoring big in 2025?
Yeah.
Unless you're Jokic, it doesn't come around too often. I just don't know what Portland's doing. They drafted Klingon, number 7, 8 last year.
Yeah.
They got DeAndre Ayton still.
Yep.
They got Robert Williams, which he'll probably get traded, granted.
Granted,
But still,
he's actually
I mean-
never healthy. But why are you drafting another center?
Yeah.
It's
weird.
It's weird. It's very weird.
Portland's just kind of like a rudderless franchise right now. They're just floating.
Man, I don't know what they're doing. Oh, one more pick I want to touch on. The Heat might have got a steal too.
As they always do.
I think you pronounce his name Yakuchunas. He played in Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
He was the guard.
Yeah.
He could shoot.
Yakujunas or whatever.
Kasparis Yakujunas.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce it. It was originally a Golden State pick, but yeah, the Heat got him.
He can play.
He could play. The Heat got him at 20. He was projected to go like number 8.
Yeah.
So he fell. Granted, it's because he's young. He doesn't play defense, but he could score the ball, and the Heat need all the scoring they could get over there. Now,
he'll be fun with Hero.
can him and he?
Yeah,
it'll be fun, but they're not going to win much.
I know, no, that's a tough. But I mean, it would just be interesting to see them on the court.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, the Heat can always find some players. Surprisingly, I don't know why the Lakers didn't try to get into this draft. It seems like they could at least got like
something.
An early second-round pick for cheap, or even a late first-round pick. Like the Nets had 5 first-round picks. You're telling me you couldn't get the 28th pick from the Nets for like a future, like 3 future seconds?
Yeah, I agree.
Something like that.
Especially with the Lakers' such lack of size, you'd think you would try to make a move to at least get a
Yeah.
big. Like Portland has 5 bigs, and the Lakers don't have 1. They would take any one of those guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Who's your winners and losers of the draft? I gave mine, John.
I mean, I think it's a simple thing to say, but I think you gotta like what the Mavericks did.
Oh yeah, flag.
I mean, they had the pick that everybody wanted. So if Flag is that real deal, if he's like a Luka, I mean, dare I say Larry Bird, but somebody obviously if he's on that caliber, they could be looking at championships. Is he just going to be like a great scorer? Like, you know, will he have like a Carmelo Anthony type career where he's like, you know,
No.
surefire Hall of Famer?
He plays defense.
I agree. He plays defense to this point. I don't think he's going to be as dominant on defense in the NBA.
I don't know. We see. I mean, granted, we play a much lower level than the NBA, but defense is just effort, right? And Cooper Flag gives effort every single possession. And because of that, I think he'll always be a plus defender.
That's what's going to determine if he's going to be like Hall of Famer or just maybe an All-Star here and there.
I think he's very coachable as well.
I think what the Spurs are doing, they might have a logjam at guard, but you would think that's a group of guys. Like, that's a group that they should make the playoffs next year.
Yeah. I think they're a guaranteed lock for the playoffs.
Yeah. If they don't make the
Granted,
playoffs,
with no injuries.
If they don't make the playoffs, I would say it's kind of a bad.
Yeah. I mean, I said earlier, I think in 3 years, they could be in championship contention with that team.
Yeah.
3 years. Just give a little bit of time to Stephon Castle, but we saw he's a stud. I bought his jersey for a reason. I loved him all season long. De'Aaron Fox is a question mark. He's been a losing player all career, essentially. But granted, he was on the fucking Kings for a decade.
What do you think of Tyrese Proctor?
Honestly, outside of just watching a little bit of him this year, I don't know much about him. Like, he was playing behind 3 ball-dominant players.
Yeah.
I'm shocked he got drafted at all. Duke had 5 players drafted in this draft.
And that's why I was trying to be down. And everyone's like, why are you being mean to the Duke coach? I'm like,
they have 5 players in this draft.
And they blew like a 9-point lead.
Yeah, with
like
90 seconds to go.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
Proctor,
you can't
Zion,
guarantee your team's going to be that good every year. Yeah, Duke always gets 5-star NBA players, but there's levels. Sometimes they get a Tatum who didn't win at Duke even.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not impossible, but there are some years where they didn't even win with Zion. Which is, looking at that now, it actually doesn't really mean much. Because
Zion was a generational talent at that time before the money got to him. Yeah. If you would have told me, like, the year he was in college, that money, women, and getting drafted by the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Where you get drafted matters.
100%.
So, like,
we talk about
all these Nets picks could be duds because they're drafted by Brooklyn.
Yeah.
They've been a losing franchise
that's what I'm saying.
all year for their whole lives.
If you could have put, like, that's what I actually say for Bailey. He's actually, yes, Utah looks bad now, but it's actually not a bad franchise to go to. There's worse play. Like, I'd rather go to Utah than New Orleans.
100%. You can
Like,
argue,
it's not even close. Like,
you
I'd
can
much rather
argue
go to
New
Utah.
Orleans is the worst ran franchise in the league. It's
Yeah.
them or the Hornets
Yeah.
at this point. Like,
Would you rather go to the Hornets or would you rather go to Utah? I'd rather go to Utah.
I'd rather go to Utah. Probably because the fans, I think they have more stability over there.
Would you rather go to Toronto or Utah?
Toronto.
I'd rather go to Toronto too. Toronto seems like a fun city.
It's grown so much. Like, from what I've read, like they're grown tremendously. And after the Raptors championship, the dynamic over there has changed. Now, prior to that 2019
They
championship,
had a black cloud over them. Yeah.
it was rough. It was rough over there for a long time.
They came a long way before Isaiah Thomas was jumping out of like a dinosaur suit, and he was he was their team's first GM.
I forgot about that.
Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
forgot
drafted
about
T-Mac and Vince Carter.
Hey,
But-
what could have been? Hey, speaking of that, you hear what T-Mac's saying? T-Mac's saying if he had the team Kobe had,
He would have the same. amount of
he would have
rings.
won. He
Yeah.
would have won that many times. But my counter argument to that is T-Mac never won a playoff series.
Yeah, I mean,
How are you going to win a championship if you can't even get out the first round?
I will say, I'm not saying he has. I don't think he wins 5 like Kobe, but he would at least have 1 or 2.
That Rockets team, Kobe won with 2 of those Rockets players. He
Yeah.
won with Ron Artest,
Yes.
and he won with Trevor Ariza.
Trevor Ariza, yes, you're 100%.
And
right.
you're saying a prime Yao Ming, and this one Yao was healthy. They couldn't make out the first round.
I don't. T-Mac's issue. It's not physical though. It's
His health, you're saying?
no. Like, well, that's what ended his career. But his mental, Kobe was mentally tougher than T-Mac.
Yeah.
And with like Kobe knew he was like, I need to win this championship, or this doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
Like, I need to win these titles. Like, and T-Mac's a great player, but he definitely in that area he might be lagging. I also do. Like we just talked about franchises. He went to Toronto, then he got traded.
No, he wanted to get traded. He was with his cousin, and Vince Carter wanted him on the team to
Yeah.
build together. He's like, no, I want my own team. And granted, what could have been with the
Yeah.
Magic? They could have got Tim Duncan if Doc Rivers allowed his fucking family on the airplane. Another Doc Rivers horror story. But I think T-Mac is a loser at his age at this point, and he's looking back on what could have been, and he's comparing himself to Kobe, and he's just wrong. If he was on the Lakers, I don't know if he would have won. He didn't win one playoff series in his career.
He would have a
Come
title
on.
for sure. I would say 1, but I'm not saying he'd have 5. I'm not saying that. He's not winning like.
I liked the Rockets team he had. Rafer Alston, he had Steve Francis, obviously Yao Ming.
They just
Ron
weren't good
Artest
enough,
was on the
though,
team.
Whatever the reason, it just didn't work.
T-Mac was the 1A. You can argue Yao was the 1A, right?
Yeah.
They were both kind of 1A, 1B.
I thought Yao was overrated though too.
Granted, but whenever I saw Yao, I thought he always played well.
No, he wasn't a bad player, but he wasn't. You couldn't just give him the ball and like win the game. He wasn't that type of player.
And obviously T-Mac, he had that one game where he scored 8 points in 10 seconds, right? 2 threes.
It might have been like
And-
more. It might have been like 11. It was sick.
Yeah.
It was-
I remember that.
I saw that
but,
live.
But outside that game,
T-Mac had games.
Oh, yeah. He's one of the best scorers of all time,
He had
too.
moments, and I will say this: he had moments where he like bagged on Kobe. I've seen him dunk on Kobe,
Yeah.
beat Kobe, but he just, I don't know, there's something. Some guys just have that extra little thing about them that makes them
Great.
more competitive and a little bit better.
I just thought that was a weak argument. Like right now, granted, we're not the big Kobe guys at all. So me being an advocate against what T-Mac's saying, it's saying a lot. I just don't think T-Mac would have won with the Laker team. He couldn't even get out the first round with the Rockets.
Yeah,
Now, I feel like if you give Kobe that Rockets team, that team could have been something. They could have got
they
one.
could have been somebody.
At least one could have
Yeah.
been somebody. Anyway, that's just a highlight that I saw recently. I think T-Mac said that 2 days ago.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. I just saw the clip of it.
Yeah.
I thought the Spurs had a great draft. I don't know if I said that.
No,
Yeah.
you only said the Mavericks. Yeah, Spurs.
I thought the Spurs had a. I don't love Harper
and
per
Bryant.
se, but it makes sense with what they're doing. They're going for it, so I like it. Now, who's their coach? So I do think,
It's the assistant. I can't remember his name. Samson.
but it's not Popovich.
No, but Pop is still in the Spurs team.
I know, but I would like him coaching them.
I mean, hey, if the Spurs somehow are bad, it's impossible Pop could pull a Pat Riley and come back like in 06.
Yeah, does he do that?
He probably could do that. But
But he said he retired because of health, though.
yeah, But anyway, it's like how even though Eric Spoelstra's the coach, Pat Riley still has his like godfather.
Carter Bryant. Those are two good picks though.
I mean, I love
like
Carter
what they're
Bryant.
even saying is if Fox sucks because we don't know about Fox totally.
They got guards.
They could just say on Fox,
Bye.
and we'll trade you.
Yeah,
it's
trade
a
for a power
deadline,
forward,
and they get somebody what they want.
Nas Reed.
Or if these guys don't work out, they could trade one of them.
Yeah. What was I saying though? If I was saying like even though Spoelstra is the coach, Pat Riley, he's the godfather. He has his fucking hands on the puppet strings, controlling everything. I think Popovich is going to do something similar with the Spurs.
That'd be cool if
he still has his hands on the team.
Would you be excited for a Celtics Spurs NBA Finals?
Oh, I would love that. Hey, I'm not jumping the bandwagon. I'm still a Celtics fan, but Spurs are my second team. I love what they're building over there. It's easy to root for them because of Wemby, but I like to cast all year long too. And I love this Carter Bryant kid, and I think Dylan Harper could be a generational talent. What they're building over there, they could win a championship in 3 years.
I don't disagree.
If the Celtics somehow retool, if Brad Stevens does his magic, and in 3 years it's Spurs, Celtics in the finals, that's going to be probably my favorite finals of all time.
Yeah, I agree.
Is there anything else? Oh, what about your Pistons? They had no picks.
No, they took Chaz Lanier, guard from Tennessee. I mean,
What do you think about him?
he's not a bad player. I remember watching him a couple games.
Is point guard or shooting guard?
Looks like more of a shooting guard. He looks kind of more like a tweener. I think he's 6'4".
You already got a tweener in Jaden Ivey.
Exactly, but I guess we don't know about Ivy's health totally.
It's just a broken leg. It's just like it's a broken
you
leg.
You guys aren't the ones getting hurt. When you break your leg, dude, I
did break my leg. I broke the bottom of my fibula.
And you probably don't feel the same way when you play.
Yeah, I'm not as athletic.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm trying to say.
I'm also not a pro. Maybe if I could work like the pro and have that, maybe I could have.
Yeah, these guys can overcome that. It's not like he tore his Achilles.
Yeah, tore his Achilles, tore his ACL.
I agree.
A clean break's better than tearing a ligament.
This looks just to me like, I mean, you got to take somebody though. So you take him. You take Chaz. I don't
where
even
they
know,
were at.
I don't even know who I wanted.
Yeah, honestly. I was gonna say where they were at. Who would you rather have had?
There's really nobody in this draft.
At that pick, which pick was that?
37.
Yeah, it is tough because like
there's nobody.
You already got a young wing last year
Yeah.
in Ron Holland, which I'm personally not crazy about. I don't like Holland.
Like he doesn't. My problem with Holland, I guess
he's not good at anything.
He has good energy.
Yeah,
but he
hustles.
He can't really shoot.
He can't dribble.
He's not a good ball handler. He's not really athletic.
He tries to play defense because he's
scrappy. He gets everything he has.
But he's skinny.
Yeah, he's not.
He kind of looks like
he's young.
He kind of looks like Travis Scott to me. I just see him like shaking his little dreads out there, and
he's got a lot to work on.
Yeah,
let's just say
he is a development project for sure. What do you want your team to do? Do you want somebody on the market?
I would rather. I mean, if they
made marketing,
if they made a move that could keep a lot of this team intact, but bring in a big piece, I obviously wouldn't be against that.
Would you pay marketing? Cause he signed last year.
Yeah.
So he's making $40 million for the next 3-4 years. Would you want that on your team, or is that too steep of a contract?
I don't think we have a chance at a better player.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
I mean, just realistically. Now, what do we have to get up to get him?
It'd be Tobias Harris to match contracts, Jaden Ivey.
I would do that.
That honestly might be it, because Markkanen doesn't have a lot of trade value because his contract's so big.
Yeah.
From what I've read, the only other team that's even remotely interested because of contracts, because they also have bad contracts, the Miami Heat. Miami Heat's on the market for Markkanen. It'd be like Terry Rozier, dud. It'll be Duncan Robinson. At this point, dud.
Yeah.
Great shooter though. When he's on, he's fucking on.
I think if Robinson needs
like a Jovic,
he needs to like recycle somewhere.
Yeah, once a shooter, always a shooter.
Like even the Knicks, their bench was so bad he
could have came in for 15 minutes
and hit some shots.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously a bad defender. But he's a guard. He is a guy you have to guard. You can't just leave him on the court.
But yeah, for your Pistons, the question mark is your small forward position. You need somebody there that could be a secondary ball handler, which Markkanen is. You don't need him to be great at defense because you have Jalen Duren down below. You have, you have some pieces off the bench. So yeah, I would think you need like Thompson, obviously, but he's not a shooter. So that's why I would think you need like a secondary ball handling, like shooting small forward, possibly a small ball power.
I think we
forward.
need a big too.
So you like a bench big, or do you want Duren gone?
No, I want Duren on the team, but I think
Hey,
Stewart,
the Raptors got a lot of wings over there. You could have R.J. Barrett. You want R.J. Barrett?
No, I want a guy bigger. I want like a power center.
Hey, it's possible they'll sell Scotty Barnes.
Like Isaiah Stewart not playing hurt us big time. In the playoffs, we didn't have anybody to like that kill. I thought it was kind of the series.
I wonder if the Grizzlies would be willing to. Granted, this guy doesn't rebound, but he is a former Defensive Player of the Year. Could the Pistons get Jaren Jackson? I heard that Knicks
I've heard rumors of that.
are on the market.
I think we'd have to give up too much for him, though. It would bust up our team. Basically, him and Cade. Which I don't. That to me doesn't.
I'm shocked his trade value is that high.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like. This I don't know. I thought the Pistons had such a good year.
Just keep it going.
I don't think it's awful to just let them try to because they're all young, for the most part.
Except Tobias, Beasley,
and Hardaway. Beasley's
and Schroeder.
Beasley's only 29. He's not. It's not like he's even that old.
Yeah,
but like Hardaway's up there. Harris is up there.
I think Schroeder and Beasley are free agents.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that they're free agents. So I wonder what they're going to get on the open market, or would the Pistons re-sign them? Schroeder played well.
I think a lot matters too. Ivy's kind of the linchpin. If Ivy is able to, come back and give you 15, 20 points a game, well, then that just changes our whole ball club around.
Yeah.
Then you can kind of beat anybody. You play with anybody.
He needs to develop on the defensive end for me. I think he's very weak defensively. Like, can he develop to like an Andrew Nemhard?
Yeah, I agree.
That's
who's going to be going against. Like, that's the guy's going to have to try to
score, play a little bit of defense, bro. Like, not trying to get Monty Williams the credit there, but that's why he benched him for awful Killian Hayes, because Killian Hayes played defense. Granted, he couldn't throw a rock in the ocean.
Killian Hayes is so bad.
Pretty bad. Lotto pick. Was that the year Halliburton was drafted? Could you have got Halliburton?
Probably.
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that draft.
Yeah. No, we missed on him and I think Mitchell too. Or no, we took the white shooting guard for the Clippers, and they got traded to the Grizzlies.
Luke Kennard?
Kennard, yeah, we took Kennard over Donovan Mitchell.
Was that at?
But we could have Mitchell and Halliburton as our backcourt. I mean, I don't know. That's what happens when you miss these picks in the NBA.
It puts your franchise back a decade.
You, man. Yeah, like you got no shot. Like it is like that. I see picks like that though. Like it wouldn't shock me. The big guy you're talking about, Malawach. I mean, if like it wouldn't. I mean, this might even sound crazy. It wouldn't shock me if he had a better career than the number one pick.
Yeah. Because
I don't think he will, but
because the defensive upside, like I said, his ceiling is like a defensive player of the year rim runner. Now, I personally don't want my big not to be able to score outside the paint in the modern NBA, but there's always a spot on an NBA team for that. Now, worst case scenario, he could be a Jackson Hayes. Lot better defensive upside, but his floor, like bottom of the barrel. He could be like just Jackson Hayes rim running center that doesn't develop. I don't think he's that, because he's from Africa. He came from literally nothing. Came here to the United States. He started playing basketball at 14, late bloomer.
Yeah. And
so he has, I mean, he even said it at the draft, he has the whole continent of Africa riding behind him on this. So I like him. I think he's a good guy. Is there anything else you want to speak on the draft, or do you want to wrap it up?
I think that's it for today. We'll have a show next week. We'll have the crew back. Frost should be healthy. Billy's back. Fernando will be out of town, but we will have Fernando back on the show soon. I'm Jesiah. I'm John. And we're the Club Rats. Remember to choose a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next week. Peace.